Welcome back to Kingdom Kast. It's your host, Bad Luck Chuck. We're back at it for another week as we are in the middle of training camp here. I'd like to welcome Chiefs Kingdom here. To the top right-hand corner is my guy, Country. In the bottom right-hand corner is my guy, Boogie. And we bring back our special guest this week. We have Aaron Ladd of Channel 41 News, KSHB. He's a sports anchor there. So, Aaron, I'd like to welcome you to Kingdom Kast. How you doing this evening, man?
Hey, man, appreciate the warm welcome. Been waiting to get on. Excited to be here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to make the stories better on this episode of Kingdom Kast.
Yes, sir.
Of the day.
Yes, sir. We was talking about that in the back. Make the stories better. So we definitely going to try to make the stories better this evening. So first off, Aaron, I want to ask you this, man. What made you come over to KSHB 41, and also, where you get your fix in as far as you being a sports fan?
Definitely. From the Atlanta area originally. Shout out all my Atlanta area folks. Falcons fan, Hawks fan, Braves fan growing up. My parents really took me to games, and that was kind of how I fell in love with sports on that aspect. Knew I wanted to work close to sports, so that was always my dream. I was never a great athlete, so I had to find another route, and that was early. That was obvious from an early age, so I stuck with writing. I was editor-in-chief of my newspaper senior year of high school. Then I ended up going to the University of Missouri at their journalism school and really just fell in love with sports. And it's crazy that it's come together and all that kind of stuff. But I'm loving it. I'm here at 41 now. Been here for about a year and some change. And it's been awesome, man. It's nothing like covering a winner. It's nothing like, covering Super Bowl teams. And truly, since I've been here the year and a half, Kansas City has embraced me. So I'm happy to show that love back.
Yeah, and like when I first seen that you got hired on Channel 41, I seen that you was a Mizzou guy. I was like, oh, I'm cool with this guy already. But gotta do a little background check on you a little bit. But that went well. So
he the bodyguard. He had to make sure he had to check my ID and everything, bounce me out the club, because that's when you was hot. When I came in, you were hot, right? So you was bouncing everybody out the club, huh?
Yeah, something like that. I guess you could say that. But yeah, it's great to have you here at Kansas City, man, covering sports and everything. You've been doing a great job, man. We're definitely going to get into what's going on with you up at training camp so far. So I want to start you out with this, man. I've been seeing some things going on as far as like the fans are concerned in regards to like how much stock they're putting into this training camp. I've seen some wild tweets being handed out. So, like, for example, the first day of pads, this tweet, I think it's from Dove Kleiman. He tweeted out Chris Jones and Joe Thuney's contracts, and he said Chris Jones dominated, and it was over the one-on-one drill. I'm like, you tweeted out their contracts, and that's what you got out of the drill, tweeting out their contracts. So how much stock do fans really need to put in the training camp, in your opinion?
I'm taking everything with a grain of salt this time of year. I mean, it's August, and this is a popular thing that goes on social media when it's like the only football that we've had to consume in the last 4 or 5 months. It's like the only thing when we jump straight to these huge conclusions. Like, think about the team that you see on week 1 versus the team you see at the end of the year. Sometimes those are two completely different teams. The stuff that we're seeing now, yes, it means something, but it means something as for where players are now and where teams are now. We see teams change so much throughout the year. You have to consider everything in the grand scheme of things. I think health is one thing that you should look at, because that's something that can determine what your season ultimately looks like. If you have a lot of players going down in training camp, well, that's obviously going to be a big story. But one-on-one battles and contract talk and a lot of this speculation on Twitter, I think that this group is smarter than that and knows that things can develop over time throughout the NFL season.
True that. I looked at it as two guys that are at the top of their games battling. If he can't handle Chris Jones, cool. Like, it's not a lot of Chris Jones in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if he can get to the point where they can stalemate and he can handle Chris Jones, he can handle anything in this league. Still sharp and still. So who cares what they make? I don't care that they make $80 million. You know what I'm saying? That don't matter to me. It only matters on Sunday. Who cares what they do on a Tuesday in August?
Yeah, I was just like, what was the point? What was the point of really tweeting out those contracts in the drill? That was
He's
just
a Patriots
wild.
fan, bro. What's up, Markel? He a Patriots fan, bro, low key. So
exactly.
His bias was showing. It's all good though. This is the new thing, and we keep saying this. Chiefs fans, you do not have to defend the Chiefs on every single media post. You don't have to do it. All they want is clicks. You know what I'm saying? And we help them out every time. We cannot help it. We're not the joke on David Letterman anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to be the hunter, and we was hunting the Patriots for all them years, or hunting whoever was at the top. Now we are the hunted. Everybody's gonna come after us, bro. We do not have to defend our kingdom every single tweet, bro. We can't help it though. It's like we so used to being underdogs, we cannot help it. It's ridiculous, bro.
It's like
and Dove, he always messing with Chiefs fans too, man.
Cause it's easy.
He's one of those ones, man. All the time, he's a repeat offender, man. That was like, whack, man. Come on, posting their salary in training camp.
Who was the girl we was talking about, Boogie? The girl
first week of pads.
Who was the girl? She like from DC, but she was a Cowboys fan, and she was like, "Why are the Chiefs talking about going 20-0? Why not? It's August. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why shouldn't we have that mindset that we want to be 20-0?
Every team should have that mindset this time of year. Every team thinks they can go 20-0 right now. Everybody's healthy. Everybody got their draft picks in. Like everybody's trying to go 20-0.
Right. So why would she single us out? Because she know we are gonna respond in waves. It's gonna be Chiefs Kingdom in your DMs and your timeline for 2 days. If you say Mahomes got a messed up haircut. Man, we don't be in your head, bro. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. If you disrespect this, you gonna get attention, bro. But we gotta chill sometimes. The fans, I mean.
Right. But yeah, I want to say what's up to Mark Hill. Mark Hill, don't get in your feelings, bro. What's up, Chris? What's up, Eddie? But
what's up, Chris? What's up, Eddie?
What's up with it?
But speaking of offensive lineman, though, man, while we're on the subject of Joe Thuney, man, I want to go to another offensive lineman. I want to talk about Trey Smith. Trey Smith, he's pretty much been a highlight of camp so far, man. Trey Smith, he has came in from day one handling his business, whether the pass been off, whether the pass been on. Like, he's held his own pretty well against Chris Jones and all the other defensive linemen in drills and 11-on-11s and 7-on-7s and that nature. Okay, so, Aaron, I'm going to ask you this. How high of a ceiling do you think Trey Smith has?
Didn't he have like a first round grade coming in before the medical stuff popped up? I thought the evaluation was a first round grade, and it's almost back-to-back years in the draft now where we can look at Brett Veach and say he got the steal of day 3. If you look at L'Jarius Sneed, and now with potentially what Trey Smith looks like he could come in and do, absolutely. It's kind of mind-blowing. I'm talking with some of the media guys earlier. I'm like, this dude is like not even – I mean, he's a rookie. You looking at not only his build, but his technique with it as well. It's a shocker.
Yeah, and but because I've seen Chiefs fans, I mean, it goes back to us being a little bit overboard, you know what I mean? Because we have yet to see him take an actual NFL snap. I'm like, I kind of want to see him go against all these other defensive linemen and not just our own, just to see how he handles himself. But I think he can be an extremely good player in the future. I know some Chiefs fans that want to make the comparison with him and Will Shields, and I'm like, okay,
whoa.
That's a tall task, man.
It's early. It's early, and it's not going to be perfect. Like his rookie year is not going to be perfect. He's going to make mistakes like every rookie does. But when you think about the draft and you're thinking about day 3 picks, I mean, the fact that he's somebody that you're going to plug and play in on week 1, you got to consider that a success so far.
Oh, you know what I was thinking? Do you think that they saw the reaction to KO last year? Because when KO came out the first game, he was so aggressive. He was pushing people all over there. It was like, oh, the fans like that type of guy? Okay, we can go get that type of guy. And now we got Trey Smith. So I'm going to give him KO right now. He got a ways to go to get the Will Shields. We ain't going to do that right now. That's a different level right there. Like, he really got to put in some work this year to be Will Shields. Will Shields is a legend. Like, you can't just give him that off top. But he's been kicking ass, man, every day. Like, Who was the guy? At first it was Tyreek. Remember Boogie when Tyreek came in? Every day it was like Tyreek Hill did this. Tyreek Hill catches it over two guys. Terez is like, yo, Tyreek Hill. And now Lewis Reddick is the new man. Lewis Reddick, unblock me, bro, please.
Come on, free country, man. He ain't got all day, man. Free country. Come on.
You know what really hurts? I'm sorry, Aaron. I called Lewis Reddick Andy Reid's mouthpiece. Maybe that was a disrespectful way I put it. I admit that. Maybe the way I put it was disrespectful, but the intent was not disrespectful. Then I was listening to 810. They were saying like, yeah, you know, if Riddick says it, that means Andy Reid is saying it. I'm like, that's the same thing I was saying. Okay.
You know how you said it though. You know how you said it though. You put a little extra.
Right.
You made the story better. You made the story better. You add a little extra sauce on it.
Yeah.
Little too spicy, country.
Lewis Riddick, if you ever see this, I apologize. Please unblock me, bro. I can't take it, bro. I can't take it.
We've had to send this man.
But no, every day it was Tyreek Hill did this, Tyreek Hill did that. And then it was every day Mahomes did this, Mahomes did that. Oh my God. Now it's every day Trey Smith is punishing guys. He's pushing them to the ground. Like every day it's something new about him, bro. It's like he's definitely the diva of the camp right now, or the star of the camp right now.
Let me say this.
Another guy that I'm gonna mention later.
It definitely helps that he's coming in with a completely new unit. You know, like not only is he coming into one of the most successful franchises in the NFL right now, but he's also joining an offensive line room that has 5 new starters. The mistakes that he makes learning the playbook and the offense are the same mistakes that presumably the other guys are going to make because they're new and they're learning it as well. That's what I would say. And as well as the physicality, something that stands out in this day in the NFL, a team that throws the ball 50 times, to have an offensive lineman that is openly saying to the media, I like a physical brand of football. I like violence. I like when we putting on the pads because I can hit another dude. That's refreshing to hear in 2021.
Yep. And one player in particular that stood out to me when we was out there in the rain I think it was the third day of pads or whatever. We was out there in the rain and wait a minute, it wasn't a pad day. But anyway, we was out there when it was raining.
No, it wasn't a pad day.
No, it wasn't pad day. But when we was out there when it was raining, the Chiefs ran the GT counter that a lot of people was looking for because it's something that was in Oklahoma's playbook. And Trey Smith just pancakes the hell out of Jaron Reed. He just straight flattens him, dog. Like, the dude has just been impressive, man. And it's just been great to see, man. So I just want to see him in an NFL game now, and hopefully it just translate for years to come.
It's the NFL. I mean, you're going to get got. Every once in a while, you're going to get got. Dudes in the NBA say all the time, like, every once in a while, you're going to get crossed. Like, these are professionals. These are some of the best who do it. Like, that's why I don't put too much stock into some of these videos you see on social media where it's like, one play one-on-one versus a guy who's not even in pads. Like, come on. We know we got a long season ahead.
You see, Eddie High said Frank Clark in 2019 had a new guy buzz.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Eddie, man. Eddie puts up content in training camp, and it's almost like you there.
Bro,
I appreciate Eddie, bro. If you do not follow Eddie High on Twitter, follow him if you love training camp. He puts up a lot of video, a lot of content. I don't know if anybody paying him to do that or he just got a good phone with a great battery.
Yeah. He's
follow Eddie on Twitter.
He's put out some fire training camp content for us, man. And
I thought you said pirate. I was about to say, boy, don't get him in trouble.
Nah, man.
Oh, so Aaron is another guy that's getting a buzz, and it's from an unlikely source. Marcus Kemp. I'm hearing something about Marcus Kemp every day. We went up there and seen him, and it wasn't him that day. But Marcus Kemp, Jody Forson, every day you hear something about those two guys.
That's who I was going to ask about. I got him getting 1,000 yards this year.
Who? Wait.
It's training camp. That's how training camp got me feeling. That's how training camp got me feeling.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm
sorry.
I'm
sorry.
He's my John Baldwin of the training camp, man. You know, every year we hype somebody up. This is who I got. Yeah, I got him in the talent, man.
Both of them getting a lot of noise for good reasons. Marcus Kemp actually caught my eye at Tyreek Hill's little celebrity basketball game. He was one of the guys there that I hadn't really seen because I came in when it was virtual, but he was friends with a lot of dudes who was there. Tyron was there, Colin Saunders was there, and Marcus Kemp was there. And this was a dude that was dunking, and he was making real athletic plays, going way too hard in a celebrity game, by the way. But like he was somebody that should actually with their athleticism, I was like, okay. So it didn't surprise me when he had that 2 touchdown day. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago in camp when they went the full team, full offense went full down the field. And I think they scored twice with Kemp. He's definitely somebody that's a good locker room guy. He's athletic, extremely athletic. And I mean, you surround Patrick Mahomes with guys who can get separation, can keep the play going. Guys like Marcus Kemp who are tall and can move fast. I mean, you're going to put him on the roster because you never know with attrition in this league. Like you never know when a position could be in need.
What you think about?
He's that gunner too, right? So
yeah, he's one of the gunners. I want to say him. I think it's him.
Devon Key.
Yeah. And there's one more.
Did he say Devon Key or he might have said Bo P? Bo P got some praise from Toad.
He said he wants to work him in.
Oh, okay.
Pringle was the other gunner.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think Dave Tope said Dave Tope gave out a few names of who he wants as the gunners on the team as of right now. So
yeah, he said Kemp and Pringle, and he wanted Bo Key.
Oh, okay, Pringle.
Yep, exactly. So speaking of Devon Key, man, I know he's taking.
Hey, we didn't talk about Fortson yet. Let him talk about Fortson, and then we can go on to Devon Key.
Go ahead, Boog. Ask about Fortson real quick.
No, I want to ask Aaron. Yeah, I want to ask Aaron, what you think about him?
I think he's a guy.
He did look good when we went.
No.
Training camp. So
he kind of had been like not. I don't want to say a joke, but he had kind of been like a guy that we thought had all the pieces, but never really got the shine for a very long time. Like going to practices last year, I was like, why? What's missing? What's the disconnect? Why is he not on the roster? Why has he not made that leap yet? And this year, it seems like he made it. Dave Toad today talked about that he had gained 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason, which is huge for any player. And he's a guy that looks like, he specifically said he's a guy that doesn't look like a wide receiver anymore. He looks like a tight end. And I agree with that. Maybe it's just the number change that makes him look a little bit more like a tight end. But, I mean, no, he's making plays on the offensive side of the ball. And I can only imagine after being in Andy Reid's offense last year in the practice squad, now this year in training camp, things have got to be clicking a little bit more, especially when you go through an entire offseason of not only did y'all lose the Super Bowl, but you weren't really on the team. Why not just go all full into it? Why not gain 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason? And he looks like a guy that's willing to do anything it takes to get more reps, and he's done that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, hold on, Chuck, can you post that comment that Phil said? Because I said something about this. I know it's training camp. I was trolling earlier. Is this possible, though?
You asking me?
Number 2.
You asking me?
Is it possible? Yes, sir.
Anything is possible in the words of Kevin Garnett. I think they have invested a lot in Noah Gray. I think all the things that I said for Jody Fortson could probably be said twofold for Noah Gray. And it's good to have competition in that room because I know how much Chiefs fans were clamoring for a tight end number 2 last year. It was like we wanted a tight end 2. We want to run more 12 personnel. We want to have more versatile things. It shouldn't be just Kelsey getting 145 targets a year. There should be somebody else behind him. Could we see Fortson get more reps later in the season? Absolutely. But tight end 2 entering the season, probably not.
And that's what I was telling Boogie before we hopped on the show, man. I'm like, they already got their 2 receiving tight ends, and then they brought Blake Bell back for the help in blocking. So, like, he mentioned, like, what if Jody can block better than Blake Bell? And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not turning away Jody from the team, man. I would love for Jody to have opportunity one day with the team, but he might just be a practice squad player again, unless an injury happens. So
I'll tell you what, though, if it came down to him and Blake Bell, which is probably would, and their blocking was together like this, I would go Fortson, but I don't think his blocking is on the same level as Bell's is, if that make any sense.
Yeah, that's why I came up with it. It's my cousin Andre. What's up,
What's
Andre?
up with it, John?
Speaking
I'm
of,
definitely
so
gonna
now,
be looking at that run blocking in preseason, though.
And it's important. Dave talked about that today. He said we use the preseason to evaluate. I know I don't really love preseason games. Some people might love them, but that's evaluation for dudes who are on the bubble, man. If you're trying to make a spot, if you're trying to beat out a tight end, if it's a tight end 3-4 battle, that block you make in a preseason game is gonna make the difference.
Yep, definitely. And now before I accidentally cut off Boogie with his question, my fault again, Boogie. I was gonna ask you about Devon Key. I know he had a few reps with the first team, and it looks like they like him special teams as well. So, in your opinion, if things translate over to the preseason and Devon Key puts on a good showing, like, do you think Devon Key actually can make the team?
Absolutely.
That's what you're seeing.
Absolutely. What you're seeing right now is not a mirage. They're not putting guys out there just to be putting guys out there. I mean, if you looked at practice 2 days ago with Juan Thornhill banged up with the groin, Devon Key is out there standing next to Tyrann Mathieu. Like, they don't just do that kind of thing on accident. The reps now, they putting that on tape for a reason. They want to see what it's going to be like when the bullets start flying, as some coaches would say. I think we look at the preseason games. San Francisco obviously is coming up a week from tomorrow. That's going to be huge for Devon Key. It's going to be a lot of Devon Key. It's probably the most Devon Key tape we're going to be seeing since maybe week 17 last year. I don't even know if he was undrafted. My bad. So yeah, let's look at the tape.
Yeah, and like another thing that Devon Key we gotta look into is that he leapfrogged over guys like Armani Watts, who've been with the organization for a long time. And I know Armani Watts, he's slowly working his way back from injury and everything. So is this I guess it's a good sign for him, man. Like, if he makes the team, it'll be a great story.
Hey, so you don't think this affects Juan at all?
No, I think Juan got his position solidified. He just got to get back 100%. But I don't know. Key might push him a little bit, though.
Yeah, because Juan is coming back from he had I think he had a hamstring injury not so long ago, and he was slowly trying to work his way back today. The Chiefs, they were just going pretty light today as far as Kemp's concerned. So we just gotta see how Juan progresses from there. But I think Juan got his spot secure still, in my opinion. But
health is wealth, right?
You're right.
Health is wealth.
You're right. Health is wealth. So we'll just have to see on that, man. But yeah, I don't know if you asked Boogie. Did you ask him about your prediction of McCole Hardman already?
No, I haven't. What you think about McCole? He's looked good in training camp. I'm trying to get everybody on board for 1K. You coming with me or what?
What was the number at last year? You gonna have to tell me what the number was at last year.
6 was it?
660, 562, something like that. Between 5 and 6.
I could be on board for it. And we've heard nothing but good things from coaches, players, the like, about his maturity level this year, his approach to this year, his more focus on the fine details this year. I think everybody would like to see him pick up some of that. Pick up some of that production from Sammy Watkins. Well, I don't think 1K. I think I like that better than Jody Fortson being tight end 2.
That's true.
Okay. Said 560.
560 last year. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I thought it was more than that.
Okay.
Can we talk about a comment that was?
He's not a. Go ahead, Country.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was about to say they don't think his targets will go up as much. We said he had 60 targets last year.
Yeah.
You think it's realistic for him to get how many more targets? Maybe 20?
This is no reporting, this is no nothing, but I think you get more targets if you have a better trust with the quarterback. And I don't think it's really going out and crazy and saying the trust hasn't always been there between Mahomes and McColl. I think if the trust is there, I think if you're building that now in training camp, all the numbers will go up because the opportunity is there as well. It's not like Sammy is still there in front of him. Now Sammy is slide out. You're coming into week one as the quote unquote wide receiver 2. Of course, those numbers are attainable, especially considering now you're building that trust with the quarterback and he sees you with a different maturity, as we talked about before.
Yeah, and I will say this: I know a couple of fantasy sites they kind of on it right now. For those who play fantasy football in Chiefs Kingdom, McCall Hardman is getting some hype as far as like a sleeper. So I just want
we're doing the Kingdom Cast fantasy draft, right?
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that soon. So
okay.
Speaking of Sammy Watkins, he made a comment this week that said in Kansas City, I had to worry about what Travis was doing. I had to worry about Tyreek was doing. In Baltimore, I don't have to do that, and I can go for myself. And I'm paraphrasing here. Did y'all see that comment? What do you think? What do you think Sammy was saying, and what did you perceive him to be saying?
I'm gonna let Chuck take it. This is my first time hearing it. This is my first time hearing it.
All right, cool. Okay.
Oh, you didn't hear the Sammy quote? Okay.
I didn't.
Okay, so yeah. How I took it was, I felt like Sammy was I felt like he was kind of right in a sense. You know what I mean? We're not saying that. He's not saying that he felt like he was the number one guy there, and that all the attention was on him. He's saying that in a sense that when he was called upon at times, he had to make plays, and there was other times where Sammy had to stretch the field himself and open it up for Travis Kelce underneath or Tyreek Hill on a slant. You know what I mean? Just for example. So I didn't really take Sammy's comments to heart. You know what I mean? Most of the Chiefs Kingdom took it to heart, but I definitely understood what he was saying. So it wasn't a big deal to me.
What you think, bud?
I think he told the truth. He playing here, he got Tyreek and he got Kelce. In Baltimore, who he got? They got some young guys. I mean, that's not that.
It ain't
he wasn't
that.
asked to do as much. When he was in Buffalo, he was asked to do more. Now he in Baltimore, it's the same thing. It's not like with the Chiefs. Like he said, he had to make sure other people was open.
Yeah.
He the guy now. Like Chris said, he the guy now.
My take was Baltimore fans should be a little heated at Sammy for saying that. Because it's like, hey, at my last place, I had guys around me, and all I had to do was focus on my little thing, and I was cool. But here, I got to be the man. I got to do everything. I got to be the guy. I wouldn't want my new free agent wide receiver come in and saying, man, what do y'all got over here? I got to be the man. That's what I got to do.
Shit,
like that was kind of disrespectful.
They had a job opening for a reason, man.
That's also true. And I mean, but he don't have the same surrounding pieces. They do got some good tight ends. They do got some coming up receivers. They got some running backs, but it ain't what he used to. And the quarterback ain't what he used to. It's gonna be a drop off there. You know, I think Sammy good. I think Sammy is a team guy, man. He can block. He do the dirty stuff. But I don't know if you're going to get that in Baltimore because he's going to have to do more. Well, he might do a lot of run blocking in Baltimore, actually.
Well, I mean, who knows, man?
To be honest, my bad, Sammy.
Who knows, man? Because, like, the media definitely got cut off from taking Lamar Jackson throwing passes after the Ravens put up that duck he threw on the outside. I said, man, why would you do that to your quarterback, man? That's embarrassing.
Yeah, that was bad. Well, welcome back, Lamar Jackson. He came back from COVID today, so we'll see how he looks in this year 3 for Lamar?
I think we'll say year 4.
Year 4?
Yeah.
Hey, he should be smiling more than anybody with that Josh Allen deal, though. If I'm Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson's mom, who represents him, I'm looking at that deal thinking I want something close to that number right there.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the starting point right
this
there.
Year, Phillip.
Yeah, I love Rashad.
But yeah, that
I like Bateman too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm
How y'all feel
MVP
about
already
Josh?
too.
You feel like he earned that contract?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, Josh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got to lock these guys up. I mean, once you get your quarterback, this is the National Football League. You either a team that has a quarterback or you don't. And when you Josh Allen, a guy who can run, a guy who can throw the ball deep, and you have guys like Stephon Diggs too, you keep that pair together. You just were at the AFC Championship game last year. I know it wasn't as close as a lot of Bills fans had hoped, but you're not blowing anything up. You got your coach, you got your quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm just, to me, I'm not hating on Josh Allen getting his contract. Shout out to him. He's a young talent. He's a young talent. He got locked up while he was young and everything for years to come. But he only had 1 year of Stephon Diggs, man. You see how big the production was with him? It was a major difference on his production. You know what I mean? Because he was having a rough time completing 6% of his passes. And now, the year before that, granted, the Bills did make the playoffs, but I feel like the Bills' defense did more of the legwork than, per se, Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Even though Josh Allen did run it more than he passed it, not saying run it more than he passed it, but he ran it more in comparison to now. You know what I mean? I just want to see Josh Allen and how he performs in front of fans on a weekly basis now, because last year, some of these quarterbacks did get the benefit of not having a crowd in front of them. I just want to say that real quick.
I just want to see him. I just want to see him stack a good season on a good. You gotta stack those good seasons together.
Yeah, prove his consistency.
But
I want him to prove.
As far as Lamar starting to get those questions, those doubts in the playoffs, because
thank you.
I mean, in the playoffs, he came up short, like very, very short. Like he fought like. I hate to compare him to Mahomes. Like Mahomes versus the Patriots, he fought and it was like if he would have got the ball, they would have won. Am I messing up? But Lamar's been getting blown out in the play and not looking good. Like, no, what is that?
You still gotta pay Lamar.
But I say this though, Lamar.
You still gotta pay Lamar.
Yeah, but Lamar,
you gotta pay him. I'm just saying. Yeah. How much you got to pay him though? So
yeah, and plus he won an MVP and he finally got the monkey off his back with the playoffs. He finally got a playoff win. You gotta pay him. I mean, that's progression.
How old is Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen?
Say what?
Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson is how old?
He's like 24, right? 23, 24.
Yeah, Lamar's not even in his mid-20s yet, I don't think.
They signed a 6-year contract. They still gonna be 30.
Josh got 160. Josh got 160 guaranteed.
50.
150.
150.
So that means you're gonna have to pay Lamar 160, right?
Yeah, Lamar got to get paid
more
than that. Yeah.
You comfortable giving 160?
Think Lamar Jackson should get paid more than Josh Allen?
Yeah, you know how the game go, bro.
I think so.
You know how the game go. If you got 160, I need 162.
Lamar got credentials, though.
Are you crazy? I'm not getting the same thing he got.
But I would pay him 160.
I tell you what, if I was Cleveland, I'd go ahead and pay Baker Mayfield for he asked for 160 because ain't no way in hell I would give him 160.
Whoa!
All the teams need to get the deals done. All the teams got to get the deals done now because when the TV money kicks in 2 years and the cap explodes, all these deals gonna be looking like this. Really, really, the Chiefs are in a good situation because Pat's deal is now 2 years old. The money still hadn't hit yet, and it's gonna be like this when the cap explodes.
Yeah, Pat just now starting his deal.
Really?
Yeah.
And he got 10 years.
I think Collinsworth said that deal will look like Brady's deal here in a minute, since we signed him so early.
Okay, you kind of faded out a little bit. Would you be comfortable paying Baker Mayfield $160 million, $155 million guaranteed?
No.
I wouldn't, but
No.
I wouldn't. But here's the thing, though. Baker been getting advertised all over the league. He's got the progressive commercials and all of that, man. So that kind of factors in. All Baker got to do is just play decent.
Because he's a star. I mean, because he's marketable.
The NFL
He Tim Tebow. He Tim Tebow with more talent.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Relax. Hold on, man.
We're not gonna do that.
Not in terms of skill, Aaron. I'm talking in terms of marketing a guy. Like, he's gonna give you a good quote. He looks handsome. He got the nice haircut. You can put him on TV. He's entertaining in commercials. But Baker ain't that, man.
I can't put Baker up there with Josh Allen and Lamar yet, though.
I don't think he is either.
No, he's not in that tier.
I think he's close.
Yeah, he's a tier below.
I think he's close. I think y'all need to remember how close it was against Cleveland, too. I've been talking to a lot of Chiefs fans about this. Like, that turnover in the end zone and really Chad Henne, and this is a different Kingdom cast today if we keeping it a buck.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say this real quick, Aaron. On that, man, if Patrick Mahomes would knocked out that game, Cleveland's getting 40 ball. All right.
But this the NFL, though. NFL stands for not for long.
I get it.
I know it's a lot of ifs and buts, but that's how close you really are. That's the margin of victory in this league. So don't take a lot of this for granted. Honestly, when we talking about a lot of these things, and even we talked to Chiefs ambassadors today, and they say, the team is on a 10-year run, but it can be so close, the margin between winning and losing. Like, we can't forget that. We got 3 countries on the screen now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was hearing like all kind of mumbles, so I had to cut out. I don't
Matrix,
know why,
man.
Golly.
I am the one, boy.
Got that fixed now. I just want to give a shout out to Darren Smith from the ship. And Darren Smith, thanks for tuning in, man.
What's good, Ship?
He's always getting on Mark Gunnels about something. But anyway, Eddie High said Baker had the rookie TD record till Herbert beat it last year. That's why he got those commercials. Well, yeah, but
Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback.
But he's still tier 3.
If he do it this year, I'm with you.
I'll say Baker is decent, man. Baker don't have to throw the ball much. He can be adequate. You know what I mean? I've always compared him to Jeff George, man, in my opinion.
Jeff George?
Yeah, Jeff George. Big arm.
Why?
Yes.
Why would you compare him to George?
Yes, Jeff George, bro.
Why?
What you mean, why?
You could have said Jeff Hotsteller, and that would have been a better name than Jeff.
No, he's Jeff George. He's literally Jeff George, man. Like, as long as Baker don't have to throw the ball that much, he can be adequate. And that's how Jeff George was. If Jeff George wasn't asked to win the game much.
Jeff George had a cannon, bro. What are you talking about? That's not the right quarterback.
That's where I was going with it.
Baker got a decent arm.
Jeff George had one of the best arms in the league, though. That's why I'm like,
Man.
Let me ask you this, Aaron. Let me ask you this. Justin Herbert. Is Baker better than him?
He's
Who
not.
you taking?
He's not. I'm taking Herbert. And I think Herbert is another person that could challenge Mahomes in their division as somebody who could throw the ball and go down the field and score touchdowns and that sort of thing.
Yeah, Herbert.
That's my MVP this year, Aaron.
I like that. That's a sneaky pick. I like that, though.
I gotta see the Chargers get healthy, and I gotta see how they do with this new coaching, man, because they've been getting a lot of hype on regular as far as national media is concerned. You know what I mean? Because on paper, yes, they got a lot of talent, but they just don't stay healthy, and then they be having these weird 4 quarters. They just collapse. So.
You cannot put Chargers and healthy in the same sentence, bro. It's impossible.
It's been like that for a while now.
No, Herbert is nice. I would rather pay Herbert than pay Baker. Easily. Quickly. You know what I'm saying? The Chargers. Chargers get hyped every year. Everybody loves the Chargers. They're
Eddie.
the Cinderella.
Eddie.
They're the darling. What do they call them?
Eddie, you know how it goes, man. You know how it goes with Chargers. Man.
I'm in this year, Eddie. It's me this year. I'm all in on Herbert, man.
But
as what? You think
Herbert's another guy.
I think he MVP this year.
MVP who?
Of the league? I do. Yeah, I do.
That's Pat. Pat MVP. He already sealed that, bro. He going for that this year. You motivated Patrick Mahomes?
Wow.
Oh, he MVP this year, bro. It's no other way.
Okay, Eddie, I ain't crazy then. I'm not crazy.
Wow,
okay.
What I'll say about Mahomes' MVP is it's harder for him to win the MVP. It's like Chuck's boy LeBron. Like LeBron has a higher ceiling.
There you go.
To get MVP. Pat, it's harder. It's harder for them because not only is it an award that the media likes to pass around or voters like to pass around, it's just harder. We've seen their greatness for so long that we're numb to it. I thought Mahomes had MVP like numbers last year, and he sat out a game. So it's just hard. It's just harder for Mahomes to win MVP from now on.
Aaron, don't be lying to these viewers like that, man. My boy, what?
You wait a minute, Aaron. You think that Mahomes already at the Jordan level of MVP status, where it's like we could give it to Jordan, but come on, man, we got to give it to Barkley this year.
I didn't say
so we
that.
Don't give it to him.
I didn't say that name because I know that name invokes a lot of. He even said he doesn't like the comparisons. It's too early for that. But I do think there is an amount that people get to where like we know that Mahomes is great. We want to hear about somebody else's greatness, or we want to celebrate somebody else's greatness.
Oh yeah.
And that's not to invalidate that Patrick Mahomes is great and that everything that we see from him on Sundays is stuff that we've never seen from a quarterback before. But it's just with those awards, it's almost like a chip on the resume, and people like to pass it around. And that's why you rarely see people stack it up. Brady, sure, I'll get that. But I don't know. It's going to be harder for Pat to get MVP stacked on top of each other.
Okay. I might agree with that. I you know what? I think that's a good point. Hey, get Tim a question in. Tim is one of our loyal guys. What's our hardest game this year? Tim, the hardest game the Chiefs going to face is the Chiefs every week. They got to bring it. It's going to be the hardest. That's their competition. They gotta bring it every week. Not bored and not sleepwalk through the season like they did last year.
So they got to look at themselves in the mirror, basically.
What you say, Aaron? I want to hear what you say.
I was just doing a quick Google of the schedule. Before I even looked it up, I had the Packers game scheduled just because that's the sexy matchup that everybody wants to see. It's at home. It's late in the year, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, there's a couple in division rivalries that I feel like are always the ones that sneak up on you, right? The Raiders game you shouldn't have lost last year. They always have a little extra juice when they play you. You know when you lose to them, it stings a little bit more. So I always look at that game as one you schedule, that you circle. And then week 4 at Philly depends on what they look like. Depends on what they look like this early. It may not really knock you if you lose it too much, but you never like playing in Philly, especially with the crowd there, and then maybe the emotions that you have for your head coach.
Especially if they get Deshaun Watson.
And Deshaun Watson. There you go.
It's a different ball game. But I will say this: that Raiders and Chargers stretch when I think when they play the Raiders Sunday, and then they gotta play the Chargers that Thursday. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a tough stretch for sure. I'm kind of not liking that stretch. I mean, that could be a stretch where we might split in between that span, between those 4 days or whatever. So I'm kind of with you on that, Aaron. You know what I mean? As far as the Raiders go, or the Chargers. So.
I don't know, man. They kind of sleptwalked through last season. The only reason they lost that Raiders game was because they didn't take them serious and they got smacked. But they didn't lose no other games after that. But you, Mr. I don't agree with you.
Aaron, please tell him that was last year, man. Please.
But you know they're gonna be thinking about it this year. There's certain things that I even buy into when it comes to the divisional matchups more so. The teams that you see more often, the teams that you've heard a little bit more about, the teams that you know when they come in, it's not all, we see them once a year. I think that might stick with him a little bit more, especially the victory lap. I hate to say it, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let me see Eddie's comment. I like Eddie's comment. He said at Baltimore.
Hold on. Before I get to Eddie's comment.
Okay, my bad.
Let me get the clearances real quick. Clarence,
I'm in the matrix.
So Clarence said, can the recipe for this offense stay the same to get back to the Super Bowl?
That's a good question.
Let me hop in on that one.
I think so.
I think there needs to be more run balance, and I've said this from the very beginning. I don't know if necessarily last year was the offense was the offensive line was never whole, and maybe they were trying to patch plug and fix things there, and they never really got the run sets right. But I need to see a jump from Clyde Edwards-Helaire in year 2. I need to see him more confident. I need to see him later in the season. I know he was banged up when it came to that New Orleans game, and that affected how he finished the year. I would like to see him involved more in the pass game as well. And Jerick McKinnon, who's a new addition, I want to see make an impact on Sunday. So balancing the run game a little bit more, and I'll see them in the Super Bowl.
I agree with you, Aaron, because we should have ran the ball more in the Super Bowl with that backup offensive line, man. How you have a Division III offensive line, you still trying to throw the ball 50 million times. But but Eddie's comment, yeah, Baltimore, that's definitely gonna be tough. Fans could make a difference this time. You know what I mean? So I still think we can beat them. I just gotta wait till they beat us. You know what I mean? So
we can beat every team, but country making this shit. We're not sleepwalking through this year, bro. Baltimore, Cleveland, Chargers twice, Raiders twice. We're not sleepwalking through this season. Yeah. Titans, we're not sleepwalking this year, bro.
Oh God, I hate playing the Titans,
bro. We can't beat them in the regular season, dog. We cannot beat them in the regular season for some reason, dog. It's always something fluky going on when we play the Titans in the regular season.
I think the Baltimore thing is getting to enough where they hear that they can't beat us so many times that they're gonna be extra motivated for that game. We still gonna smack them, but I mean they're gonna be extra motivated for that smacking. Yeah, Boogie Shaq is advocating for a lot of teams. Boogie low key a Patriots.
Come on, Chris. Chris. Don't do me like that, man.
Hey, one thing about Tennessee, Julio Jones, he hasn't been practicing at all lately, has he? Anybody know?
Heck, but I don't know, man. I've only been focusing on us, really.
Get used to it. As a former Falcons fan, Julio Jones does not practice. I'm just letting you know that now. I had him in fantasy multiple years. I was a Falcons fan. He does not practice. He's a game time decision going into the game, and then you find out when the inactives and the actives come out whether he's going or not. Last year, he missed more games than he had since his his sophomore year. But previous to that, he had been a pretty healthy player, and I hope he rebounds to health in Tennessee. He was an awesome contributor in Atlanta, and we all know what difference maker he can be when he's on the field. But Julio doesn't practice. He don't practice.
Oh, Aaron, Falcons fan, right? You're a Falcons fan, right? So when Deion came back and smacked up left eye boyfriend Andre Rison, whose side was you on, Aaron?
Country, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm only 24. 2-4.
Oh, okay.
2-4. Yeah, you done aged me out the game. My Chiefs Falcon. Yeah, I'm only 20. I'm actually 25 in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Hey, that's
yeah. My Falcons Chiefs memories are
country. Oh man.
Mine are like Eric Berry pick 2. I remember where I was when I watched that. Because I was like, okay, Matt Ryan. Yeah, I was like, Matt Ryan, all right, we about to go in. And my thing. Yeah, that was tough. But Tony G is another connection that we share. Chiefs and Falcons. I always consider Tony G a Chief.
Y'all can have him.
No. Oh, whoa, really?
Yeah. We're still kind of salty about what Tony said, man.
Man,
Chiefs Kingdom.
We owe Tony that. We owe Tony to send him to a contender, bro. He had suffered long enough. He needed that. I wish he would have won there, actually. I know that might be like blasphemy in Chiefs Kingdom, but
yeah, I'm just like whatever on that.
Who was your favorite Falcon then? Julio?
Come on, Chris.
Chris can know you, Boogie.
Who's your favorite Falcon then?
Probably 11, man.
Did he-
11 or 7. 11 or 7. I know 7 spent some time up here, but honestly, growing up watching Vic is probably what got me into the NFL, man. It was like a phenomenon, the Michael Vick experience, and Warwick Dunn and Tony Duckett, and we had Algie Crumpler, and it was a whole era, man. I remember the Georgia Dome was rocking back then because the Falcons were good enough to make the playoffs. But after that, it was about it. They was good enough to get in, but and it's just perfect that it capped off in the Super Bowl the way it did with that lead. But yeah, man, growing up watching the Falcons is just kind of how I fell in love with the game.
But Vic did have some.
What about Roddy White?
In the playoffs? Vic did have some great moments. Like he was the first quarterback to beat Brett Favre in Lambeau Field in the snow, and then he also led them to the AFC Championship game when they eventually lost to the Eagles. So. Vic did some great things for that Falcons organization. And, of course, everybody remember Madden 2004, one of the best football games ever created. Like, the dude was literally a cheat code on that game.
No Falcons. The no Falcons rule. You couldn't use the Falcons because of Vic, man. And that 7 jersey, I still have it. Couldn't even give it away. I got all my Vic stuff, all my memorabilia from that era because – he was special, man. He did it in a different way, and he was authentic to him. Right? He wasn't anybody else. I had never seen an athlete like that where he had his own style, he had his own brand. I guess that puts my age on what it is. But Vic was the dude who was like the guy,
So them red Falcons jerseys was the bomb. The red with the white. Yeah, I used to have a Vic. My cousin borrowed my Vic jersey and went to jail in it. I never seen it again. R.I.P. Boy.
Wow.
I bought a fresh new Vic jersey. Oh, cuz, let me borrow that. I'm like, go ahead, bro. It went to jail. I was like,
gone.
They in the county rocking that right now.
This is back when Vic was still in the league, like in Atlanta. He was still in Atlanta.
I had the red joint too, though.
I was a Warwick Dunn fan because I'm a Florida State fan. So Dunn was the truth, man.
Dunn was nice, man.
And off the field and on the field, he was nice.
So
he still doing that for people like the single mothers. He still do that,
man. And Deshaun Watson is one of those kids too, man. If you want to see it come full circle. Deshaun Watson is one of the kids who actually received a house from Warwick Dunn's foundation, him and his mom. And Deshaun Watson was a former Falcons ball boy too. I mean, it's just it's crazy how you see some of the stories come together and sports, man. Sports helps bring those things to life.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Dunn is a real one, dude.
So overall, Aaron, like of your assessment of the Chiefs 2021 training camp so far, like who's been the standout for you on offense and defense, special teams? Like, who's the guys that have been standing out for you so far? Based on what you've seen.
Offense has certainly been Tyreek Hill. He hadn't missed a step. It's crazy. I remember one day I'm sitting there looking at all the balls thrown his way. It's not even close. If it's close, he's grabbing it. If it's not, he's right there under it. I mean, he's a Pro Bowler. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. And we shouldn't take his in for granted when we talk about Kelsey. And when we talk about what Mahomes can do, Tyreek Hill has to be right there. Because, I mean, pound for pound, what he's doing at the position that he's at, it's crazy. So I give Tyreek Hill my helmet sticker on offense. Defense is Willie Gay Jr. I know y'all probably tired of hearing the buzz for Willie Gay, man, but he's earned it, especially considering how he ended last year and we didn't get to see him. And then he even told us this year after one of the days of training camp that he couldn't even fly with the team because of COVID. So he wasn't even there for the Super Bowl, which is tough. But, man, talk about a guy who has flashed. He's one of the guys first walking down the hill, which is him and Tyrann Mathieu, first guys onto the field. He's got the green dot on. He's making calls. One day I got him on my lens. He intercepts Patrick Mahomes, and then right away, no celebration, he goes to making the call for the next play. I mean, the maturity that you see from this guy is crazy. So I'll give him my helmet sticker on defense, and I definitely look for him to be an impact player this year. And then Butker has been consistent on special teams. He's somebody that was inconsistent at times last year, and I was one of the loudest critics on Twitter, being like, "Yo, what's going on? Can we shine more attention on this? This is a story. You can't keep missing extra points. You can't keep doing this because it's gonna come back to bite you." And all year you hear, no, he'll get it right. He'll get it right. He had his big moment, obviously, against LA last year, which was cool. But to see him go through his work, to see the kind of the process that he goes through to get ready each and every day, it reminds you that he's one of the most consistent guys in the National Football League for a reason.
Is it crazy that when he's doing the extra point, you like, oh, come on. Okay, good. But when he like kicking a 55-yarder, you be like, oh man, that's money. You don't even worry.
The thing is this though, Country, like our red zone offense struggled last year, man. So he had to do a little more work than what he was accustomed to. Like the other day I was out there in camp, they was working on some red zone stuff, and like the defense been locked in. You know, they didn't make it easy on the offense, but the offense had some great moments too. So, you know, hopefully we improve in that area this year. That's one area we definitely got to improve in. So Buck won't have to do much work as far as kicking.
I definitely don't want Harrison out there more than 30 times. I don't want him kicking 40 field goals. We don't need that. We don't want that. And I shouldn't have to, but I'm just saying, when he lining up for a 58-yarder, you believe in it. You like, man, that's money right there. But when he lining up for a 20-yard extra point, you like, oh, I don't know. Like, Harrison be tripping sometimes.
Yep. Exactly. So, yeah.
Who's your sleeper guy at camp? Under radar guy.
Is it possible that Creed Humphrey is under the radar? I mean, this guy's going to start day one as a rookie at center. He's snapping the ball. He's touching the ball first. Remember this: Mahomes doesn't get the ball until Creed Humphrey gets the ball. So for him to come in, had an anchor that he does, he's going up against Noddy every day in practice. He's going up against Jerry Reed every day in practice in some of these one-on-ones. Maybe we're not giving Creed Humphrey enough shine for what he's doing in his rookie training camp.
I'm with you on that because a lot more people are because way more people are talking about Trey Smith than Creed Humphrey. And Creed Humphrey's been holding his own too, man. So, like, with that being said, man, on the offensive line, it looks like it's gonna be Brown, Tooney, Humphrey, and Smith. All right. So that right tackle spot. Okay, we seen Lucas Niang have his opportunities. He's progressed a little bit. He's gotten a little better, but it still doesn't seem like he's locked it up. And then Mike Remmers. I think he's almost on his way back. And then you got Kyle Long, who hasn't even been with the team all camp because he's still rehabbing for injury. So, like, who do you think's gonna get that right tackle spot? Like, does Remmers get it the entire year? Does Kyle Long come in and steal it at some point, or does Niang just surprise people and get it? Like, what's your opinion on that?
I don't know. I don't think the Chiefs know. I don't think even the 3 or 4 guys that you mentioned really know. I mean, it could be any combination of those guys because we haven't seen them. I mean, we haven't seen Mike Rimmer. We haven't seen Kyle Long. Like, these guys are banged up, but we know that the team that you see week 1 is the team that you may not see come Super Bowl 56, come the AFC Championship game, come some of these important games. I'd probably give Lucas Niang the edge now because that's the guy who I've seen the most, and that's the guy who I've seen take reps. But who knows, right? Ask me that question in a month or two, and I can have a different answer.
Cool. I like the answer.
You know what? I feel the same way about cornerback too, Aaron. Like we don't know if it's going to be Hughes and Baker or Ward and Fenton. We don't know who. It's the same. That's the only 2 battles at training camp: right tackle and cornerback.
And the truth is somewhere in the middle, right? Like it's not black or white. Like it's kind of gray. Like it might be a combination of both. It might be a guy who plays really well and then gets hurt, or it might be a guy who doesn't play well and gets replaced. Like it could be so many different combination of things. I think because we're in training camping, because we haven't had football in so long, people are so ready to anoint guys. Oh, this is our starter, and he's going to be the starter the whole time. But that's just not the way it's going to work.
Yeah, to me, like at cornerback, it seems like Hughes got the other spot, man. Like whenever Snead goes in the slot, I've been seeing Hughes out there for the most part on the outside. Like I know they put Baker out there, but Baker is still taking him a minute to recover from his nasty, leg injury that he suffered in week 17. So I know Hughes was covering Tyreek in the one-on-ones at times, and that's a really, really tough task to cover Tyreek Hill. But I remember one play in the red zone, he held his own. Got a pass break up on Tyreek. So it looked like they liking Hughes a lot more on that outside.
And they said Hughes was gonna do punts too, I heard.
Yeah, he was taking snaps. Yeah. Taking snaps. My guy in the comments.
We'll be surprised how he is.
Who would say Warden at first?
I like
man, I do not know his first name.
Tershawn Warden.
Tershawn Warden. Yeah. I've been hearing this name a lot too. He's been popping up a lot too.
Yeah, Warden is fast, man. Like he gets off the ball pretty well, man. Like,
you know what? You know who we haven't been hearing a lot? Orlando Brown Jr. Is that good? Is that bad?
I think we've seen good and bad from Orlando Brown Jr. in camp. I mean, I think when the trade was made, it was like, now we have an established tackle who we could put there and he'll be the guy, but he still has warts just like all these guys. He's come in and says, I'm not a complete player yet. I think one of his first interviews, he said, I still haven't put my best football on tape as an NFL athlete, but he's somebody that it seems like he's anointed in that position. He'll make mistakes, but he's ultimately going to be the guy.
Yeah, and my thing with Orlando Brown is this: like, I know in the one-on-ones, it looks like he's been losing here and there, but at the same time, he's coming from the Ravens where they was mostly like a run scheme type offense. You know what I mean? Greg Roman, he kind of runs that I wouldn't say option style offense, but just like Lamar Jackson doing a bunch of fakes, or he'll either keep the ball or he'll throw the ball or hand out to the running back. So he's kind of coming from that system. I think Orlando Brown, he'll get back to what he was when he played in Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Because Oklahoma, they was passing the ball quite often. You know what I mean? So I just think it's just taking him a minute to get acclimated. But I'm not going to put too much stock in his one-on-ones. At the end of the day, I expect Orlando Brown to end up being one of the top left tackles in the league.
I'm just like, look, if Chris Jones is destroying everybody on the O-line, I'm not mad at that because it's not.
That's Chris Jones, man.
It's Aaron Donald, Chris Jones. Like, it's not too many Chris Jones in the league, bro. Like, y'all got to relax. Like, Chris Jones, he got paid for a reason.
Yeah, that pistol.
Aaron, I want to ask you something, man. This whole time we was talking about Chris Jones going to D end and all this, we never really talked about what if he actually is better at D end than he was at D tackle.
That's true.
We'll see. I think it opens up more possibilities for the defensive line at the end of the day. I think he'll have more snaps at D tackle than he will at D end. But situationally, for him to be able to be versatile and move in and move out, it can only help Steve Spagnuolo, right?
Right. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of versatile guys on that line, man. I like that. I like it. That Warden is going to go inside. He's going to go out. Dana is going to go inside. He's going to go out. Jones is inside out. You just never know what they're going to do when they're on the field. Like, and to put that thought, that extra doubt into an opposing offense, that sounds like a win for us.
Yeah, the scary thought is that Chris could be even more dangerous on that edge, man. He looks pretty quick to be on that edge.
He looked the part. He definitely looked the part. He looked like a DN right now. A scary DN, a big, huge pause.
Didn't Spagnuolo rotate his D-line with the Giants too? When they won that Super Bowl, didn't they rotate their D-line?
Yeah, he ran the NASCAR package. He had 5 defensive linemen, here and there. So may see some of that. But I want to talk about Frank Clark. Because there's been some Chiefs fans that are down on Frank Clark based on what they've seen in camp and stuff. But to me, do you think that stuff is overblown with Frank Clark? Like, there's people talking about, it's the same old slow moves with Frank Clark, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just going off the fact that Frank Clark showed up big for us before, and I'm just not really concerned about that. What do you think about that, Aaron, as far as the criticism?
In 9 times out of 10, whenever I see the criticisms of Frank Clark, it's always tied to his contract number. So which one is it? Is it that Chiefs fans don't like the number that he has, or is it they don't like the production that he has? Because they always seem to pick and choose which one they like at which time that affects them. ultimately, I think Frank Clark is great for the Kansas City Chiefs D-line because he's multiple. He can move around, and the sack numbers are there when you need them the most. Frank Clark is somebody that I feel like impacts winning as well. I'm not going to say that he's the reason why they won the Super Bowl, which is another thing that got blown up on social media, but Frank Clark is a guy that locker rooms around the league would die to have because there's one thing that you cannot teach, and that's rushing the passer.
Yeah.
Big
Uzi Clark.
I like it.
I love that, Chris.
Everybody's been running with that.
Big Uzi.
Listen, I remember a tweet that Sully said, dog. Sully said, man, hey, that just increases our intimidation on that front line.
Yo, Aaron, man, we certainly appreciate you coming on, man. We love getting the on-hand retakes of what's going on in the camp, man. You young guy, you're doing your thing, man. We proud of you. Keep moving, keep grinding. Man, how did I forget? You talked to Peter King today, which is like, how awesome is that? Congratulations on Peter King by itself. But he said some good things about Therese. You know Therese, right?
Yeah, man. I had been fortunate enough to do a couple of segments. Once again, I started here in Kansas City about a year and a half ago, and in that time, Therese reached out. We talked. We did a couple of Zoom segments, and man, it just like the most welcoming guy, right? Like the knew everything about football, and just was warm and welcoming to me. And that news was just shocking, right? I feel like everybody felt that. And just learning about his work ethic and learning about what this community meant to him and what the community is saying about him now in return, it's crazy. Talking with Peter today about it, he said that, and I hope I'm not butchering this. You can go on. I actually retweeted the clip. Nick Jacobs, who works with me at 41, he was the one who actually asked the question. I want to make sure to give him the credit as well on that. But he great content creator, has great stuff. He had that victory lap story exclusively as well, has been in Kansas City covering the team since 2004, I believe. But he asked Peter King about Therese's legacy because Peter King did a long story this offseason about Therese's passing and what his legacy means, not only to Kansas City, but Black journalists as a whole, young Black journalists who want to get into this industry, who love the game of football, who see it the same way that Therese sees it and has that passion. And you can tell that not only he's missed, but his spirit lives on in the people who are still working, not only here in Kansas City, but around the National Football League. And if you haven't seen that clip yet, it's up on Twitter.
Yeah, it's great stuff, man.
Everybody make sure y'all go check that out, man, and support that for Aaron and support everything you do. And like I said, man, keep grinding, keep giving us that good content, keep doing your thing, man, and we'll see you in the stars.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me on. Definitely, it's gonna be a long ride here. I'm here. I got to get back on the cast. We're gonna have to do something in person or something when everybody's good to go and all that kind of stuff. And I appreciate y'all having me on.
For sure,
man. We'll be there Sunday.
Man.
Okay,
we'll be there.
Sunday, I'll be there. Y'all got my information, and anybody who's watching too, same thing. Don't be afraid to reach out. That kind of thing. I'm new in town, so if y'all want to show me the best barbecue spot, please do that.
Oh man, don't do that. The DM's gonna be lit, man. Where your girl at, man? Don't do that. Man. You get yourself in trouble, bro. Now, hey, one last thing about going to camp. Camp was fun. We sat with Kent and BJ came by and Chief Bearcat.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. We had a great time. I did look over at that tent and I was looking for that bucket hat for Therese, bro. And I didn't cry or nothing, but it was like moments of like, man, you would look for Therese and you knew who Therese was. You know what I'm saying? So I did kind of look at that media tent a couple of times, like, man, I miss my guy, bro. But it was fun, man. If y'all haven't made it up to training camp, please go to training camp support. It was fun. It was a whole bunch of people up there. They got a lot more room this time. That extra hill they got in the back is Man, whoever thought of that is a genius. Because, bruh, that used to be terrible. But like the stands were
Man.
full, the fans was all in tune, man. And we'll be out there Sunday. It's gonna be a lot. I think Hams is gonna be out there Sunday, and a couple other guys. I think Jordan coming this time, Chuck. So he'll be out there. If you guys are out there, y'all see us, y'all see Aaron. Say what's up, man. 6 feet or whatever y'all want to do. That's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? Just show love. We'll show it back to y'all. So take us out, Boogie.
Before we leave, I'm sorry. My boy asked me this. I gotta ask, man. What? I'm sorry. I gotta do it. What you think about the Lakers' offseason moves, Chuck? Before we get off here, man.
Jesus Christ.
This offseason moves.
Bruh, I told y'all in the back chat we were not gonna talk about LeBron on this show for a minute, dog.
No, not him. I just want the moves of the Lakers. Not
everything
him.
has to do with him. It's gonna come back to him anyway.
I didn't even bring up LeBron. I said the Lakers.
You could have asked him about Jerry West and back to LeBron.
Hey, listen, dog. The Lakers recreated the 60% of the 2012 NBA All-Star game lineup and a few other guys. So it is what it is. They better make the Western Conference Finals. With that amount of talent. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
So do you have them winning next year?
Do I have them winning? No.
Okay.
Which one of your 3 teams you got winning?
Until the next episode of Kingdom Cast, we're out of here, people. See y'all on Sunday.